Namaste and good morning, everyone. We'll start with the prayers. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now 3 times Mahamrityunjaya mantra to pray for everyone who is in the suffering. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhana Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhana Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhana Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome everyone. We'll start with our classes. For Gita verse, so far we have done 2 verses, and today we'll do 3rd and possibly 4th. Before that, I just want to make an announcement, and that is related to WhatsApp broadcast list. So before I make the announcement, when we were setting up this morning, there was a mistake and we accidentally created a group, and some of you might have received that you joined the group message and then we removed the people from the group. So you might have received 2 messages. You are invited, you are added to a group, and you are removed from a group. So please ignore that. That was a mistake on our part. Sorry about that. We will be creating a WhatsApp broadcast list, and we will be using this list for sending you the reminder about the classes. This will replace the reminder emails. So we'll send the WhatsApp message. Most people, I think, will be more prompt in checking the WhatsApp messages for as a reminder rather than the email. We will also send you an information on WhatsApp when we upload the, say for example, video file or any other important file, or update the files in the repository. Any other important communication about the classes. All formal communication will still happen by email. So you will still be sending us the questions by email. This WhatsApp group list, you have to join this list. We cannot just put you in the list and you receive the message. So in order to receive the messages, you have to request to join the list. So the way you will do it, send us a WhatsApp message on this number, just stating your name and say that I'm interested in joining the list. So on this number, please send us a message, WhatsApp message, not the SMS message. It will not receive SMS. So make sure you send a WhatsApp message on this number. And this is the part, that this is a list and not a WhatsApp group. So nobody else will be able to see your information or be able to send you a message. Only Kriya Yoga Institute can send you the messages. So this is the mechanism we will use for communicating to you regarding these things like reminder, updating an important file, and other such things. So there will be no, there are some people are saying they don't have WhatsApp account. So we will not be, as I said, all the formal communication will still happen by email. And it's only like those kind of things like reminder, or when we upload an important file, to send an email for everything, it is a lot of emails going through. So, but any formal communication, say for example, if we reschedule the classes or something that everybody must know, we will still be communicating by email. So it is the sort of optional communication, so to speak, that we would use WhatsApp for that purpose. So reminder, you can, we will not be sending the reminder emails. I would recommend you to set the reminder in your own calendar or something if you don't have WhatsApp. This is just an additional thing. So as I said, no communication which is we have to make sure that everybody must receive formally, we will still send by email. Okay. So Zoom link will not be sent. There is a question, will you send the class Zoom link each week by email? We are not changing the Zoom link. So Zoom link remains the same every time. So we will not be sending class Zoom link every time by email, because Zoom link we are not changing every time. It is the same Zoom link for all the classes. So even if you don't have WhatsApp, please do not worry. Just make sure that you set up the reminder in your own calendar, and Zoom link remains the same. You will not miss anything. Okay. So this is purely and those communications which will be more like optional rather than mandatory. And again, it's up to you to join this WhatsApp list. So if you want to receive the messages, you have to formally send a WhatsApp message to us on this number. Okay. So with this information, I hope you have all noted this information down. We'll go with our classes. So last time I had said that we would invite somebody to chant along with me and repeat after me. So if any of you, I checked that I can unmute any of you, but you have to volunteer to raise your hand. So if you raise your hand, whoever wants to volunteer for chanting after me or along with me, please raise your hand and I'll select one of you randomly and unmute your mic. Okay, so I have one volunteer, so I'm unmuting you. Okay.
Hello.
All right, so I'll chant this verse and you repeat after me. Okay. Klaibyam asmagamaha partha I'm not able to hear you. Are you chanting it? Okay, I'll try again. Klaibyam asmagamaha partha
Klaikyam asmakam. I couldn't hear it.
gamaha partha.
Gamaha partha.
Naitattvai upapadyate.
Oh, I need to see it.
Can you not see on the screen this one?
No, I see your face.
Or you cannot see the screen, shared screen?
I guess not. I only see your face. How do I see that? Maybe.
Okay, is anybody else having difficulty in seeing the screen? No, people are saying that.
Oh, I see. I have to. Okay, now I got it. I'm trying to learn how to use this.
Okay, all right. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right. So naitattvai upapadyate. This one.
Naitatva yupapadyate.
Kshodram hridaya dorbalyam.
Kshodram hridaya daurbhalyam.
Tyaktotishta parantapa.
Tyak tyaktvotishta parantapa.
Okay, I'll now chant the verse, the whole verse, and you can chant along with me. Klaibyam masmagamaha partha naitattvai upapadyate Shudram hridaya dorbalyam Tyaktotishta parantapa. So I'll mute you. Thank you for volunteering. So anybody who wants to volunteer, you raise your hand. I'll unmute one of you. That's the thing. So that's how it will work. You, there is an option to raise your hand, and in the chat window, I think, or and that way you can now, of course, it's I mean, we'll choose one participant per verse. So next verse you can do that. So now we will go with the explanations. So now you can lower your hands, please, but we will go with the explanation. Klaibyam, it's a nominal. Masmagamaha, it's a special construct. We'll come to that. It's a verb. Partha, it's a nominal. Na, it's an indeclinable. Etad, it's a pronoun. Tvai, it's a pronoun. Upapadyate, it's a verb. Shudram, it's a nominal. Hridaya dorbalyam is nominal. Tyaktva is a indeclinable. Uttishta is a verb. And parantapa is a nominal. So this is the good thing, that if you identify all the words first, that which category do they belong to? Why do we need to identify that in the first? Reason is that verb is the central feature of a Sanskrit sentence. So one verb form per sentence. There is a possibility sometimes that if the verb is of the form of us or bhu, then you may not be able to see the verb mentioned explicitly. It's implied, and that of course depends upon your experience and practice, that you would be able to identify such a verb. So here we have this verb. So we have one sentence is this, consisting of this much. Then we have another sentence up to here, verb, and then we have this sentence one here. Sanskrit is a free word order language, largely speaking, so verb doesn't have to end the sentence. When we put it in the text form, we normally put verb in the end, but in the poetry, certainly it doesn't have to be that way. So now we identify each and every word. So Klaibyam, it's a accusative, that is second case. It's a singular. It's neuter, and the base word here is Klebya, and the meaning is unmanliness. Masma gamaha. As I told you that this is a special verb form. So for the verb, we will fill these columns which are in blue. And this is lung form. Why do I say it's a special verb form? So normally this is one word which will come as a verb form. Here there are three different words. And in this particular case, when ma is a means not. Ma is a particle, means not. Usma doesn't have any particular meaning. More like you can say filler word here. It has some meaning in some other sense cases, but here it's a little bit like a filler word. And gamaha, this is actually the verb form. Normally, this past tense, when you make this type of past tense, when you make this form, it becomes agamaha, not gamaha. It becomes agamaha. But because it follows the particle ma, there is a special rule that akara is dropped and it becomes gamaha. So two things happen here. One, because of this particle ma, the negative particle, gamaha, the form changes to gamaha. Second thing happens, its meaning does not remain the past tense meaning. Its meaning becomes more flexible. So this is a second person singular verb type parasmaipadi. Root here is gam, and it means do not go. So as I said, that meaning becomes more flexible. It does not remain the past tense meaning, even though the verb, its tense is indeed lung, which is a kind of past tense. So because of particle ma, the tense form as well as meaning changes. So this is a special construct. I just wanted to make sure that you understand this part. Okay, so Partha is the nominal. It's a vocative case. That means it's being addressed, O Partha. Singular, gender masculine. The base word here is the same as Partha. And the meaning is actually it's a proper name. Proper name of Arjuna. Another name. So Partha is coming from the word Prutha. Prutha is the mother's name. So Arjuna's mother's name is Prutha. From that comes the word Partha. Partha means son of Prutha. That's what it literally means. So Arjuna has this name Partha. This also tells you that how much women were prominent in the olden society, that the name of the lineage, the name of the sons and daughters, they were being called in the name of mother also, as well as in the name of father. Like he is also known as Pandava from Pandu, his father's name. So it's an indeclinable. In indeclinable, all we have to has the meaning. It means not. Etad. It's a nominal pronoun. It's a nominative, singular, neuter, and this actually is the same. So this word here would be etat. base word is etad, means this. Tvai, this is a nominal pronoun. So this is seventh case, singular. It's a base yushmad. It's a second pronoun. Second person pronoun, yushmad. So there are three persons, first person, second person, third person. For first person, like in English we use I, in Sanskrit we use ashmad, in second person we use yushmad, in English we say you. So, and it becomes in the seventh case singular, the form becomes tvai. There is some rules in Sanskrit grammar because of which yushmad becomes tvai in the singular cases. And here the gender truly does not matter, because the first person and second person pronoun, they are the same in all the genders. Here is being referred to Arjuna, so we can say masculine, but truly this word itself is the same across all the genders. You is the meaning. Upapadyate. So this is a verb. We'll fill this portion. And this is lut. Third person, singular, verb type atmanepadi. And here the root is upa plus pad. So upa is like a prefix, something like prepositional. So verbal preposition, verb prefix we say. It can change the meaning of the verb. There are 22 possible such prefix words, and a verb can have one or more than one or none at the same time, and it can change the meaning. There are some guidelines what are the meanings, but in actual practice the meaning can vary quite a bit. So here this actually means to befit or to suit. Shudram, it's a nominative, sorry, it's an accusative, singular, neuter. Here the base word is Shudra, and meaning is a small, mean, like that. Just wanted to let you know the Shudram is an adjective to Hridaya Daurbalyam, so that's why it will be neuter here, but otherwise it could, the same word can also exist in the masculine gender. Hridaya Daurbalyam, the same thing will have, it's an accusative, neuter, singular. Its a base word is Hridaya Daurbalya, and it's a compound word, so made of two different words. So Hridaya Daurbalyam. Hridaya means heart and Daurbalyam means weakness. So weakness of the heart. Not in the physical sense, not the physical heart, but more like weakness of the mind, you can say, weakness of the heart. Tyaktva, this is an indeclinable. So the meaning would be simply just the meaning, and it would be mean giving up. Uttishtha, it's a verb, and it's a lot lakara. that's a command mode. So it's a command mode. That means he is giving a command, or it can also be used as request depending upon the tone. Person is second person. So second person means that it is being addressed to somebody second, like directly, like you. Singular. Parasmaipadi. Here again we have this prefix, verbal prefix ut, and the verb root is tha. So it becomes uttishta. There are certain rules where, because this verb stha changes into tishta, and it means get up or stand up. Parantapa. This is also a nominal. So just to let you know, any word which ends in the akara, a, like what you see here, if there are no other letters after that, that means the base word, and this is the same in case of akaranta noun, that will be vocative. So that is vocative, singular, masculine, and here the base word is the same, parantapa. Meaning is, again, it's a name for Arjuna, but it has a meaning, just like Partha is the name of Arjuna, which means the son of Prutha. Similarly, Parantapa is also a name of Arjuna, which means one who scorches the enemies, means one who makes life difficult for enemies. So that is the another name of Arjuna. But this is the name which can be used for any brave person. So let us see the word meaning. So first, these three are making one sentence. Masmagama, verb form. So here it becomes Partha. This is vocative. So we can put he as an optional, like O Partha. Klaibyam Masmagama. O Partha. Do not go to unmanliness. So this is an interesting construct in Sanskrit. In English, normally, if I have to say this thing, I would say do not become unmanly, rather than saying do not go to unmanliness. But in Sanskrit, it is very common that somebody goes to a state, we take it as like there is a state of unmanliness and somebody is going to unmanliness. So Sanskrit has a bit different way of stating this thing, saying do not go to unmanliness. Or in English, it would be more like do not yield to unmanliness. And that may be more appropriate to say in English. But just to let you know, gam dhatu, which means to go, can be used for attaining a state, including the state of, so to speak, unmanliness. So some people are raising hands. You don't need to raise the hands for this purpose. Only raise the hands when we are chanting the verse, when I invite you to raise the hand. Otherwise, you can just write the comments and I will reply to all those questions. Etat tvai na upapadyate. So this is the second sentence. Etat tvai na upapadyate. What does that mean? Etat means this, twai means in you. So this is like you, and this is locative, that means in you. Upapadyate means to befit or to suit. This does not befit in you, literally if you translate, but in English normally we don't say that. We say this does not befit you. In Sanskrit there are certain verbs or certain nouns which take the special cases. So like in this case, upapadyate, if you are referring to a person, will come in the seventh case, that this does not befit you. So this thing has to be known by practice, by getting exposure to the literature or looking up in certain grammatical books. Then the next sentence, parantapa Shudram Hridaya Dorbalyam Tyaktva Uttishta. So, he Parantapa, again this is the vocative. Shudram Hridaya Dorbalyam Tyaktva Uttishta. O Parantapa, again this is being addressed to Arjuna. Giving up this small or mean weakness of the heart, stand up. Please stand up or get up, whatever the way you want to put it in English. So with this you see that how the meaning becomes very clear. And now if you read the translations, you will find, maybe not in this particular verse, but many other verses which we will be going to in the future classes, where the translation simply will not give you that kind of depth of the meaning which you might get by this methodology. And that's one of the ideas to go for this in-depth study. So if you remember the background of the first two verses of the second chapter, so the first chapter was Arjuna is utterly dejected, looking at his relatives in the battlefield and seeing that it will only lead to utter destruction on both sides, and a win truly would be a no win. And then he laments to Krishna, giving a lot of logic, that why this war is really not the right thing to go for. And when is it happening? When he is right in the battlefield, when he is between the two armies, when war is just about to begin. And the first chapter deals with Arjuna's lamentation, and Lord Krishna does not say anything. And in the second chapter, when Arjuna becomes silent, he actually gives up his bow and arrows, and he sits in the chariot dejected. So normally in the warring, as a warrior position, he is in the standing and ready position, and then he gives up, he drops his bow and arrows, and then he just sits down dejected there. So second verse, if you remember, when we did this, Lord is saying, "O Arjuna, in this odd situation, where has this delusion come upon you? It is not practiced by noble people, it does not lead one to heaven, and it does not cause glory or fame." Then here he is saying, Klebyam asmagama, O Partha, do not yield to unmanliness, do not become unmanly. Klebyam is actually a very strong word. From a Sanskrit perspective, it's somebody who has lost his manhood, becomes like so weak, and that kind of, it has a very different connotation, very strong word in Sanskrit. And Lord is saying, do not yield to unmanliness, O Partha. At the same time, you see, he is reminding that he is not coming from this ordinary family. He is the son of Prutha, a very brave lady. There is a story in Mahabharata that when both sides are preparing for the war, there was one last ditch effort made by Krishna to go as a messenger of peace to Kaurva's side, to the other parties, and tell them that, look, if you give justly their share, Pandava's share, then we can avoid this war. And he even came down upon his request. He said, even if you just give the 5 villages instead of the whole kingdom, we will settle down. We do not want this bloodshed. And Duryodhana, the main person on Kaurava's side, he said, I will not give even that much land which is like to the point of the needle without a war. So war became inevitable. So Pandavas were righteous people. They wanted to avoid war as much as possible. So when war became inevitable, Lord Krishna goes to Prutha, this Kunti, another name of her is Kunti, and says that, do you have any message for your sons? Because Kunti was living away from her sons at that time. And she says, tell them that a brave woman, a Chhatrani, the woman of the warrior caste, the day has come for which she gives birth to the sons. That means do not flinch in the situation of war, but go with your full strength. So such kind of brave woman, this message she had given to her sons. So Lord Krishna is reminding to Arjuna, look, do not yield to this unmanliness. You belong to this lineage. Your mother is so brave. Etat tvaina upapadyate. This does not befit you. This does not suit you. You are not a person who should behave like this. And then he addresses, O Parantapa, Shudram Hridaya Dorbalyam. So Hridaya Dorbalyam itself means weakness of the heart. And Shudram is like a further adjective. It's like further rubbing the salt to the wound, saying that this meanness, this weakness of the heart, give it up and stand up for the fight. So if you look at the second verse and third verse, and if you read the first chapter of Gita, that the way Arjuna has put forth his arguments, his logic, and he is utterly distressed at all the bloodshed that might happen. It seems that he was expecting a sympathetic hearing or some sympathetic response from Lord Krishna. Instead, what Lord Krishna is giving a very, very heavy dose of criticism. It's not an easy thing for Arjuna to hear. To tell that don't go to unmanliness, to say this word like anarya-justam, aswargyam, kashmalam. These are all quite strong words. And that's what Lord Krishna responds. Instead of showing any sympathy with Arjuna, he just blasts him off completely. Another occasion, if anybody would have said to Arjuna even half these strong words, Arjuna would have immediately challenged that person to fight. And Arjuna was the foremost warrior in the whole world. There were only 2 or 3 people in the whole world who could stand before him. So that person would be either forced to apologize or give up his life. It's just that Arjuna, it is Lord Krishna who is speaking these words, and Arjuna knows that Lord Krishna is not an ordinary person. Plus, he is in a state of dejection. Yet he finds it very difficult to digest this kind of criticism. And in the next verse, I hope we can cover the next verse. We'll see that how he responds. It's kind of a little bit of a reaction. So here we'll chant this verse, and now I can take somebody who wants to volunteer to chant along with me. Okay, so I'll unmute one person. Sridhar Baba, your mic is unmuted, and you could chant after me. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhe.
Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhe.
Dronam cha Madhusudana.
Dronam cha Madhusudana.
Ishubhihi pratiyotsyami.
Ishubhihi pratiyotsyami.
Pujarha varisudana.
Pujarha Madhusudana.
Then I'll chant the whole verse. You can chant along with me, Baba. Arjuna Uvacha. Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhe. Dronam cha Madhusudana. Ishubhihi pratiyotsyami. Pujarha varisudana. So again, I'll mute the mic. Okay, so Arjuna, I'll probably go a little bit quicker. We have already covered quite a few cases of the same grammar style. So nominal, verb, Katham is indeclinable, Bhishmam is nominal, Aham is nominal pronoun, Sankhya is nominal, Dronam is nominal, Cha is indeclinable, Madhusudana is nominal, Ishubhi is nominal, Pratiyotsyami is a verb, Pujarha is nominal, Arisudana is nominal. So we see two verbs, Uvacha and Pratyotsyami. Here the case is nominative, singular, masculine, base word is Arjuna. This is the simple name, just the name. Arjuna. Uvacha we have already covered in the previous here, Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. So I'll just take from here and copy it there. Then Katham is indeclinable, means how. Bhishmam, this is accusative, singular, masculine, Bhishmam, Bhishma. So this is again a proper name, Bhishma. Aham, Aham is a personal pronoun of the first person. So nominative, singular, because Arjuna is saying that why I'm putting it masculine, but the same pronoun, as I said, personal pronoun of the first person, it is same in all the genders. So here the word is asmad, base word, and meaning is I. Sankhe, it is a seventh case, singular, neuter. So the word would be and it means battle. Dronam, So Dronam and Bhishmam, they are the same except the name is changed, but this is nominative singular masculine, and this is Drona, and this is the proper name of another person, another teacher of Arjuna. Cha is indeclinable, means and. Madhusudana, it's a vocative singular masculine, and it's a name of Lord Krishna. So name of Lord Krishna. Ishubhihi, this is nominative plural masculine, and sorry, this is not nominative, this is third case, instrumental, by arrows. So issue, that is the base word here, and it is arrow, so that will become means by arrows. Ishubhi means it's a nominative plural by arrows. Pratyotsyami, it's a verb, it's a future tense, lut future, it's a first person singular parasmaipadi, and here the base or the verb root is yudh. Yudh means to fight, but as you can see, this is prati yotsyami, so again this has a prefix, prati plus yudh, to fight, so to fight back, it changes the meaning. So yudh means to fight, and prati means to prati yudh means to fight back. Pujar how, this is nominative dual masculine, and here the pujarha, sorry, this is the base word, pujarha, and his, it means worthy of worship. So this is actually a compound word, puja, arha, pujarha, and puja means worship, arha means worthy, so worthy of worship. Arisudana, this is also a vocative case, name of Lord Krishna. So except Madhusudana, as you can see, there is a similarity in the word here, Arisudana, Madhusudana. So let's see, Arjuna Uvacha, that is simple. We did not put this one here. So Arjuna Uvacha. Okay, so that means Arjuna said. So that part is clear. What did he say? Hey Madhusudana. Madhusudana is in the vocative. That means he's addressing. So he's saying, O Madhusudana. O Krishna, that means. Then this becomes the whole sentence. Katham Bhishmam aham sankhe Dronam cha Madhusudana. How will I fight back in the battle? How will I fight back Bhishma and Drona in the battle with the arrows? So That's what it will mean. How, O Madhusudana, how will I fight back Bhishma and Drona with arrows? And then he is saying, O Arisudana, again another name of Krishna. O Arisudana, they are worthy of worship. So you see here, first he's immediately like Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that give up this cowardice, give up this unmanliness. This does not befit you. As if Arjuna has become very afraid of the battle. Lord Krishna is making a very strong worded statement on Arjuna. And sometimes gurus do that. I have seen sometimes Baba, like somebody comes with a lot of planning, lot of grief, and sometimes he could just in the response scold very hard. So that tries to bring the person a little bit into the consciousness that all this lamentation is actually not the right thing to do. So here Lord Krishna is somehow something like similar he's doing. So Arjuna has responded that it's not that I'm afraid, but how will I fight back Bhishma and Drona in the battle with the arrows? And if the question is, why can't you fight back? Because he's saying these are the worthy of worship. These two people, these two. I have just said these, but the literal meaning is these two. So here I have added the words etau and staha, as you can see. The actual word is only puja or how. So this is just to make up that verb. I was saying that there is a verb asti which is implied. So here it is like implied that puja or how ista. These are the worthy of worship. These are worthy of worship. There is an alternate way that you can take the whole sentence as one, and you can say, how will I fight back Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of worship with arrows? So how will I with arrow in the battle with arrows? So either way it is possible to make up the sentence. We can either say, how will I fight back Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of worship? So one sentence, or you can make two sentences. So this is like a immediate Arjuna sort of reaction that look, I am not afraid. It is because these are worthy of worship. How will I fight back? Means Arjuna is not prepared to make the first strike anyway. He's saying pratiyotsyami, that even if they strike me, how will I be able to return the arrows? Because these are worthy of worship. And these were teachers. So Bhishma is the great grandfather of Arjuna. And Drona is the teacher. Arjuna had tremendous love for both of them, tremendous love and respect. And they also have tremendous love and respect for Arjuna. It is just that situation of demanded that they being on the opposite side. So this is how Arjuna responds. Another interesting thing, if you notice here, he is saying Madhusudana. Madhusudana literally means one who is killed the demon Madhu. So there was a demon Madhu whom Lord Krishna had killed earlier. So he is calling him Madhusudana. And also he is calling him Arisudana. So two times he is addressing Lord Krishna in this sentence, in this verse. Arisudana means one, Ari means enemy. Sudana means killer. So one who is who defeats the enemy, who kills the enemy. So what he is saying that you have killed the demons, you have killed the enemies, but here I am facing my elders who are worthy of worship. They are not like enemies or demons. So he is also in the reactive statement, as you can see, that he is telling Lord Krishna that this is not the same thing like you have faced. He probably forgot that Lord Krishna also had to fight his relatives. There are stories. So with this, we'll now, as we see the next verses, they become very interesting as Arjuna's response changes based upon the words of Lord Krishna. So with this, I'll take the questions in the chat window. So please send your questions in the chat window. If you raise the hand, it will take a lot of time. So just type your questions in the chat window, and I'll try to answer. Whatever I have answered as a part of the class, I will not take those questions, but I'll take other questions. Okay, so there is a comment from somebody. People are raising hand on video instead of going to participants and clicking on raise hand button. So please do that. Whenever I ask you, not right now, but whenever I ask you to raise hand button, do not raise your hand in the video. Please use the Zoom meeting control to raise your hand. What is the class WhatsApp number? I had already given, but I'll just send the WhatsApp number once again to everybody. So this is WhatsApp number. So I'll send this message to everybody here so that you will all have WhatsApp. Okay, so we are adding, there is a request, can you please add this file to verse analysis? I'm adding the file to verse analysis files. I'm adding all the files. For every verse, one file I'm creating and adding to the repository. You can access from there. Please explain the meaning of different names of Lord Krishna that I did. Sanchitam, I could not quite understand your comment. So please clarify either in the email or here itself. What does istaha mean? You said it's an implied verb. So if you go here, I have put the verb istaha. Here, istaha. Istaha means it is the asti means is. Istaha means they too. It's a dual verb. Asti, istaha, santi. So it's a dual form of asti. Is the exclamation also used in Sanskrit? It is not used in Sanskrit. Sanskrit does not truly have much of a pronunciation. It is just for clarification that we are using exclamation here. But no, there is no. But in some Sanskrit texts, because of the clarity, you will find that they have added exclamation. Can you please tell us again what pratyotsyami means? Pratyotsyami means to fight back. Prati is the prefix, verbal prefix, and yudh means to fight. Pratyudh means to fight back. Pratyotsyami means it's a future tense, so it means how will I will fight back. And katham means how, so how will I fight back? Arisudana means the killer of enemy. Ari means enemy. And some of the things, because we will be putting this video in the repository, if the things are not clear to you right now, you can always go back and play that part of the video and get the meaning out of that. Why do so many translators not literally translate the many names of Arjuna and Lord Krishna and Gita? It leaves out so much meaning. True, and that's one of the reasons why we are doing these classes. So, Salil Baba, thank you for your comment. Pranam, you are saying great class. Thank you. Pranams. What relatives Lord Krishna had to fight in the past? He had to fight his maternal uncle, Kansa. Kansa was his maternal uncle, and he had to fight and he had to kill him. He also had to fight a few other relatives in his life, like Shishupala and others. That was later though. Gita class versus explain chart. Can we do this for homework and mail to you? Yes, please. So there is a question, can we do this chart? So yes, you do the chart and mail to us. If you can do it before the class. So like next time we will take the verse 2.5. And if you can do before the class, and if you have any questions, that would be very good, because then I can take those questions and make sure that I explain them in detail. So what I would recommend you try for one verse or two verses before the class, which we are going to take in the coming class, and then you send any questions that you want me to focus upon while delivering this class. There is a comment here, the size of the screen is at 130%. I'm missing the meaning of the word on the far right of the screen. I realize you have the screen large, so those of us who are over 70 can read it. That is indeed the purpose, that people can read it more comfortably, not just over 70. But I will put this print, as I said, for every verse, I will put the verse analysis in the repository, and there you can see the whole thing. How to decide it is accusative case. That requires a little bit of a Sanskrit knowledge, and you can, I would request you to look at the classes of the basic Sanskrit course, and that gives you some idea that when a key particular case is chosen as an accusative case. So there's a comment, thank you for a wonderful class, namaste, thank you. So there is a comment here, Pranam Baba, I joined the list. It says the account is a business account. It is for the WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, as I told you that this morning there was a mistake. We created a group by accident, and then instead of creating a list, it is a list which we want to create. And in order to join the list, you have to send us a message. And yes, this account is a business account. It's a Kriya Yoga Institute account. So as an organization, we have created a business account, but from your perspective, it will not matter whether it's a business account or not. You can use your normal WhatsApp account to join the list. Okay, there is a comment here in line 19. Should it not be Udstha instead of Utstha? Let me see. This is related to this word 19, Udstha. So I'll go right. Udstha, that is indeed correct. It should be Udstha. Thank you. So it should be Udstha, and because of the Sandhi, it becomes Uttishtha. So thanks for pointing it out. Okay, so these are all the questions, and Paulo Baba, you have to send the number to request WhatsApp, not on the chat, but send a message on WhatsApp requesting that you want to join the list. So not on the chat window. You have to send the message to WhatsApp. Remember, in order to receive the message, I'll again pull up this thing, WhatsApp broadcast list. In order to receive messages, you have to send us a message on this with the following information, your name. So otherwise you will not be able to receive the messages. So please do that. Please send us a message. So add this, you have to add this number in your contact list, and then send us a message stating your name, and we will add you in the broadcast list. So okay, so with this, we'll conclude the class with the prayers. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you everyone.